This conference will now be recorded.
So,
We tried
like you
in
were
different
talking
way.
about this. Sorry, who's that? It shows
Yeah, it's
attendee.
Anand. Anand, we tried in different way. So we tried dict1 dot update open bracket
Okay.
dict2 and printf.
Did that
And
work?
yeah, it's worked.
Okay. Did anybody try this way? So update is not concatenation. It's a, well, you're getting the same result, but it's not really concatenation, right? So that's one way to do
this
it.
one plus dict.
And I think we didn't discuss update yet, right? Did we? I don't think so.
No.
So did anybody try this and got an error?
Yeah.
Yes, type errors we got.
Exactly. So that tells you one thing for sure, that you cannot concatenate two dictionaries in the traditional way that we've been doing, like in strings or other stuff, like trying to concatenate two variables. So that is not going to work here. So there has to be another way. There are a couple of ways actually. It's interesting. I didn't think of the update way, but that's a good idea too. Update is also one way you can do it. I mean, you're getting the same end result. It's not really concatenation. So I'm going to give you some more time. Try some Googling and see if you can come up with this. If not, then maybe in next to next class we'll talk about it. So until then,
So,
I'm
Ankit,
gonna
you're
leave
saying
this.
like apart from typecasting, there is other way.
Yes, there has to be some other way, right? Well, there are many ways. You can do. You can even using a for loop, but of course we haven't discussed for loop, so we
No,
can
but
see
we are,
that.
yeah, means the things still which we have to discuss on the basis of that also we can do it.
Right. Yeah, whatever we have discussed so far. So there is a way. The thing is, the plus indicator always, remember we discussed in strings class or something, right? We saw that it works with when they're exactly the same type. But the point here is, you might think, or you may ask that, Ankit, you've given three values each. I mean, three key values in both. So it is matching, right? Why is it not doing it? So that is the answer that I'm looking for. Either you tell me the answer, like why is this not work, or you tell me a solution to this. Either way is fine.
So,
Think
no,
about
Ankit,
it. Go ahead.
means the answer is like that the keys are not stored in the means like indexing cannot do, means they are stored on the hashing. So that's why we cannot
You're
map
going in the
it.
right direction. I can say that. So think more. Yeah, but you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, Ankit, but we can see
When it comes
dict1
to
plus
dictionary,
dict2.
right?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Anand.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
dict1 plus dict2. It's a string, right? The string would, even if you press enter, it will be like a dict1 plus dict2, right? So instead, we can provide f single quote and the flower bracket, and then it will do, right? Open flower bracket.
You're saying you can curly brackets, right? You can always say curly. Is that what you're saying?
No, f before dict, yeah, single quote, single, not dot, single quote, not dot, yeah, and a flower bracket, open flower bracket, yeah.
You mean this, right?
If you can close a flower bracket,
Okay.
dict1 flower bracket, close and flower bracket again. Yeah, close that flower bracket after one.
You're saying close it, okay?
Yeah, just closed it. Dict1 close it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, got it. Yeah.
Close
Okay.
it and open again. Open after plus.
Okay.
And just closed it.
I
And
think I got what
single
you're saying now.
single quote.
So this is F string that he's talking about. We haven't talked about this yet, Anand, and I'm not sure if this will work, but we'll see. I'm gonna put it in comment. Have you tried this and it works?
I think it won't work. You have to put one more quote after. Yeah. Can you try that, please?
I don't want to try it right now because people will get confused. So when we talk about F strings, maybe we can talk about it because they don't know what F string is, right? But you can try it. If it works, I think I'll be surprised, but I think I know the way it would work. And that could be, if it works, then it could be considered as concatenation too. But let's see. Try it and ping me individually. I don't want people to get confused with F strings. I haven't gone to F strings yet. So guys, if you guys are wondering what this is another way, or you can say a format type of a thing in Python, where basically you can tell Python what you are trying to print irrespective of the data structure. I think that's what Anand's concept is. I like its concept. It may or may not work. Try it, Anand. I think it's a good idea. It might work.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, perfect. So what I was saying. So yeah, try this out. But yeah, Tushar, you're going in the right direction. So what I was saying was dictionaries always concentrate on keys. Just like we say in string, right? Whatever is within the quotes, you don't have to worry. It's almost the same thing for dictionary for values. You don't have to worry about value. It can be anything. 99% of your issues, 99% of your questions are around keys. So I would say your thinking is good, Tushar. Just try more and who's pinging me separately? Guys, don't ping me separately. The class is on. Yes. So that's another thing. If I'm not seeing in advance the class is not on, that means it is on. Our usual time, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 10:30, right? IST. It's 12 p.m. EST. So that is always there. Unless I have a meeting or something, I'll definitely try to say much in advance as much as I can say. So same thing holds good for the link. If I am not giving you guys a new link, the same link holds good. So make a note of it, and same time holds good until and unless, if ever anything changes, we will put it in the WhatsApp group. So that's a given from now on. All right. So let's go ahead. So I was saying we saw an example yesterday, right, where we're talking about list of tuples, right? We were seeing this. So now I'm going to take a very simple example and see how much you guys understood on that. We saw we can use a list of tuples and we can make use of that using dict, and we can have a new dictionary out of it. So everybody remembers that, right? So now I'm going to take a simple example, and what I'm going to do is dict 1 and 2 are already there, right? So I'm going to take dict 4 equal to, not dict, sorry, I'm going to take list first. All right, list of tuples we said, right? So 1 comma 1, let's say, and then second element is 2 comma 2. I'm just going to keep it simple so that you understand the concept. Then of course you can apply it anywhere. So this is just a list of 2 elements which happen to be tuple. Now we saw that we can use dict4 equal to, using dict function, we can have this, right? Does everybody remember this?
Yes.
That's how we created
Yes.
a dictionary. Now my question to you guys is, what is printing from where? Okay, let's put this in comment. All right, now we're back to here. So you guys understood this very well, you said, right? And now that's how we are printing this dictionary. See the curly bracket? So this is a dictionary. I don't want to do a class and type again. So what happens now? First of all, is this okay as a syntax? If I print list x1, will it work? Or is there any issue here? What do you guys think? So what am I doing? I'm just using the same concept, list, and the tuple has 3 elements here. That's all. And the tuple can have as much as elements, right? It can even have repeats. I can even do this.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just keep it simple so that you understand. So what do you think now my dictionary would look like? So, but this will work, right? You said? Let's see. Indeed it works. So there's no challenge here. I'm gonna remove this. So what happens now? Can anybody tell me? What will be the output?
So key becomes one, and we get two values. So like the string 1 and 4 is one value.
So you're saying this basically, right? This will be your first
Yeah.
element of your dictionary.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else thinks the same way? So Najam, now that you said that, so how would this be stored? This is not correct, right? One variable having like this. So either it has to be a list or a tuple, right? Otherwise, how can you have 2 variables? So are you saying this or are you saying this? Because we're talking about sequence now when we talk about 2 values, more than 1 value. So it has to be either a list or a tuple or a set, right?
So I think it would be default to a list.
Default to a list. Okay, so this should be the one then.
Yeah.
And similarly, you're saying the second element would be 2 colon list of 2, 3. I think that's what you meant.
Right, right.
Okay, that's interesting. Anybody else thinks this is the right answer or something else? So here's where Python gets confused. So this will actually be an error. The reason is it doesn't know. So Najam, you thought that this will take the second two as values. What if this was my key and 1 and 4 was my value? There is no way for Python to know that. So in such ambiguity situations, it will error out. See, dictionary update sequence element 0 has length 3. Actually, it won't even go till here. 2 is required. So always remember this, guys. Whenever you are using this way, excuse me. Excuse me. So whenever you are trying to create a dictionary out of a list of tuples, the bottom line rule is only 2 elements in a tuple are allowed. So this is not going to work. Only way it's going to work is this, because it takes the first element as key and the next element as value. Okay, so dictionary, yeah, this is what I was saying. So clearly the error exactly tells you that you're giving 3 arguments, but you take only 2. So remember this, guys, whenever you're using dictionary from a list of tuple, it is a rule, thumb rule, that you can have only 2 elements in it. And we just saw the way if you add more, it gets confused and it throws out an error, which is clearly stating you that only 2 are required, not 3. Now this and this can be anything. You can complicate it as much however you want, but always remember the tuple can only have 2 elements. That's it. That element
So
could be anything.
if the second element in the list, so like if you had the string one and a number one as a list, would it work?
That's what you have to try. That's why I purposely said that. Anything that is a data type here can work. Just try it with a list, what you're saying exactly. It should work. It doesn't matter. All it has to do is it has to look for 2 elements. The first element always goes as key. The second element always goes as value. Now, there's a little bit catch to it, and I want you to figure out yourself. Always remember the rules for keys. Where is it? So try and practice it out. If you're giving something that's mutable, see if it works, or if it doesn't. It should not. It should throw an error. So be very careful on that. So whenever you start applying concepts, don't forget the basic ones. You always have to keep that in mind. All right, so concatenation we saw is not possible this traditional way. There are different ways that we'll have to see. So now I'm going to talk about a bit more of other stuff. I have to put this in comments. Let me put this also in comments. No, I don't have anything, right? Yeah. So let's say there's a dictionary 1 equal to 1 colon 1 1 and 2 colon 2 2, 3 colon 3 3. Simple dictionary with three items. So now if let's say I wanted to simply delete this, does anybody know? I don't expect you to. So there's an inbuilt function called clear. So let's see what it will do. Print dict1. Come on. Let me do it before and after. See? So before I gave clear, what did I add? I had the full dictionary. Then this after is just to show you guys. Then I gave the dot clear command, and what do I get? An empty dictionary. So that's all is about the clear. If you hover on it, it says remove all items from the dictionary. So this, you might think, why is Ankit telling? It's a very basic thing, but this is very useful when we go into advanced concepts, and we'll see it there. So remember the function or the inbuilt function to clear the contents of a dictionary. Remember, I'm not removing the dictionary. If I was removing the dictionary, this line would have errored out. But what it is doing, it's basically removing the elements from the dictionary or the contents of the dictionary or the items of the dictionary. So clear is used for that. And so that's clear. Now, if I wanted to, actually, you know what? Let it be like this. If I wanted to just delete this, because right now we saw everything got deleted, right? Then what can we do? Does anybody remember anything from other classes? What have we been using?
Pop.
The pop here. Yep, that's right.
The-
So if I just gave this, do you think this will work? Does anybody remember the pop that we have done so far? It has a, does it have anything? Let's see.
So
So error,
pop
pop
won't work
is
with
one argument
empty
got zero.
stuff.
Yes, exactly. So pop always needs a value or an argument which will basically be pointing to the value. So what do you think? I want to remove, so let's see, I want to remove 22. Can I give 22 here? Do you guys think it will work?
I think you should
I
give the key,
am
but I'm not
satisfying
sure.
this.
Key. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm satisfying this that I'm giving one argument, but you guys are right because in dictionary, everything works with keys. So just two because that's my key here. See, it changed to, it removed the two. So that's simple. It's really not much of a thing, but we've also seen, so let's say if I did pop item, there's one more pop item here. Then you do not have to give the value, but what can happen? Or do you know what will happen? Any guesses? Simply gonna delete the last item. See, 3 and 3 is gone. So pop, the difference between pop and pop item is with pop, you have to give the argument and basically you're telling the exact specific key which it will delete along with the value. And with pop item, it basically takes the last in, first out. So essentially, whichever was last in, this was the last value, right? That is the one that is going to go out, first out, last in, first out. Remember that, LIFO. So this was my last value in. So this is my first value out. Now, if I run it again, what will happen? It will remove 2. So if you did it again, then it will remove 1. That's all is between pop and pop item. It doesn't really have much of a, much of things. So now, let me even remove this. I'm going to use the same dictionary, okay? And if I wanted to add an element like 444, 4 colon 44, did we do this? I don't think so, right? So what is the easiest way? I don't want a very complicated way. Can anybody take an example or take a hint?
Dot add.
With that append
Okay,
or
somebody said dot add. Okay, but dot add doesn't seem to be existing in this, but that's a good call
Append.
because list
that
works like
append
that.
will
Append, okay. Doesn't look like it
Yes.
exists.
How about update?
Otherwise, my
Update.
yeah, Ravi, I know you've been inching to say update. Hold on for that. We'll talk about update in a second. But that is the right answer. I'm not saying it is not the right answer. So I'm just talking about a very basic way without any functions. If you're adding an element in a list or in a dictionary, just a similar way. So what can we do? Can I do something like this? So what am I saying? Am I saying that my put the on the fourth reference, put the value as 44? Does it mean that?
You're
Dictionaries
saying
don't
fourth index, put it as 444, but
exactly. So I'm saying fourth index as 44 is what you're thinking. You're right. But I already said dictionary doesn't take indexes, right?
yes.
But this will work. Let's see. Oh, I didn't print it. Print dict 1. So it did add, see, 4 comma 44.
it is
So
considered
when
as
it
a
comes
key.
to exactly, you saw we remember when we saw how we were printing the values, so we were giving the key value here. And that's another reason why dictionaries don't allow indexes because it uses the same concept, but it doesn't take a index value for that. It rather takes a key value for that. So now going by the same logic, what if I did this? What do you guys think will be the output? Will it add a new
It should
element?
replace, no, it should replace that 3 by 44. Means
You
the
mean
key
this one?
value 3 will be replaced. Yes.
So it will be you're saying this, and that is correct. See? That is the exact concept. So basically what it does is the moment it sees these brackets, it looks for the key, not the index. That's how dictionaries are. And that, remember, that's why we say they are built on hashing mechanism, not using indexing mechanism. So by default, it knows this is not an index because it doesn't even have the concept of index, but it knows that it is a value of a key. So what it's going to do is it's going to go through the entire dictionary that it has and match for that key. If that key exists, all you're telling is that, boss, please overwrite this value to a new value. But when we were doing this, or let me even do this, then what it is telling me is that it is first going to look for that key 5. It doesn't exist, then add to the end. See, 5 colon 44. So that's how it's a very basic idea that you add a key to, key and value pair to, or an item into dictionary. So let me just go ahead with this for the sake of brevity. Now I'll come to another way of doing the same thing, what Ravi has been telling. So Ravi, since you know the update, tell me, is this gonna work? So there's an inbuilt function, guys, called update, which will also do the same thing, but we'll see how it will work. But Ravi, do you think this will work? Predict one. So now I want to add, let's say 5, fifth element to it. Everybody silent. It says int object is not iterable. So our fourth element worked, so we're good till here. But line number 68, see, it says it did not like it. Why? Let's see what update does, or what does update say. Method update, overload, forget the overload part. Look at the this keyword arguments. So there's so many keyword arguments that we can give. So the star, whatever you saw, star KWARGS, this stands for keyword arguments. This is the concept in functions. And of course, we'll just deal with this in functions. But for now, you can understand that it can take multiple values. That's what star KWARGS means. So now can anybody take a stab? What will be the right way?
Key and value both we need to be 5 comma and
That's
whatever the value.
good idea. So you're saying this, right? Let's see if it works. It says invalid syntax. Keyword arguments concept in, oh, the thing that I was saying exactly, it says.
Okay. Is it like 5 comma 55?
5 comma 55 is a good idea. Let's see. That works. Did you see this or did that just come to you?
So I just
The
started
update accepted at most
maybe
one
comma
argument,
separated.
not two. So it says update is only taking one argument and we are giving two. So I'm going to explain this exactly when we talk about KW arguments, but for now, you guys are going to tell me the answer for this. So search on update and tell me how we do it. But the way it works, you will understand when we do keyword arguments. So there are two types of different arguments, keyword arguments and variable length arguments. We'll do all that in functions. But try to find out an answer. It's very simple and you'll be able to Google it. But you won't be able to understand much in detail because we have to understand this concept to understand it. But always remember, guys, if you understand the basic part, that is always the best way to go with it. Simple and elegant. But of course, it helps to know inbuilt functions because it saves you a lot of time. Okay. So what else is, we did this, we did almost everything. We did update also. Okay, so now there's an interesting concept. In fact, I didn't used to teach this in my earlier batches. I found this recently. or I won't say I found it. I mean, yeah, I found it recently, but it's been there from a long time. So let's see. So now we pretty much actually covered dictionary, but this is one concept or one, you can say, another way of um, writing dictionaries in Python. So let's say there's a list. I'm just taking the variable name as key so that it makes it easier for us to understand. Okay. C D. Okay, I'm gonna keep it small. So what is this, guys? This is a list of elements which has A, B, C, D. That's all. Keys is just my list, regular list. Now just see what I'm doing and then tell me what else could have been done or what could be right or wrong. So first of all, this is a set, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you guys still say this is a set? I was not expecting this.
No,
Yes.
it's a dictionary. It's a dictionary.
No, but it is not initialization.
So this is a dictionary. This is a dictionary, guys. Always remember, sets is the only concept. We saw this the first thing. Until you have a value in it. Remember, I ran this and showed it to you? And I told you that the empty thing is basically a dictionary. So don't get confused when somebody asks you like this. So all I'm doing is I'm creating an empty dictionary. Right now, y is an empty dictionary pointing to nothing. Now I'm going to use an inbuilt function called from keys. And let me first show you what it does. So it says from keys can take, forget about what is overload here, but understand this part, iterable. There we go. That is one thing I don't like. It should show more. Yeah. So create a new dictionary with keys from iterable values to set value, set to a value. This is very important, guys. So try to follow along what I'm doing and try to remember this. I'm going to copy paste it here for your thing so that you keep going back to it. So now it says, first of all, can it take an empty and with no arguments? Let's see. No, it does not. So it says expected at least one argument got 0. So that means it has to take one element. Now, what can that element or what can that argument be? Does it give you any idea here? So the name says from keys, right? So if I give keys here, what do you think it will work? Remember, keys is what? It's a list which has these values. Now I'm saying because the error says form keys expect at least one argument. I'm giving one argument, and the argument is nothing but a list of different values. And it doesn't say the from keys, it doesn't say anywhere it can take anything, right? It doesn't say it has to be specific. All it says it has to be iterable. Iterable means it has to be a sequence, and list is a sequence, which is what I defined here. So do you think this will work? Will it print a dictionary? What do you guys think?
It will print.
Okay, it will print. Good. So what do you think would be the dictionary elements? How would it look like? So if I were to print here, what would it look like?
Print all
A
Key.
comma value, B comma value, C comma
No,
value,
no, no.
D
You have to
comma
tell
value.
me the answer, not value. Everything is here, right? Tell me exactly what will you get?
no value.
Could be a comma none, because we have a null also, right?
I don't see anywhere none. Where did I give none? But
Zero.
anyways, you're saying that
A comma 0 0.
you're saying a none or are you saying a0?
A0. A.
Okay. So that you're saying is your first element. So there's no comma here. Basically, you're saying this.
Yeah,
That's how you do, right? Key colon
correct.
value.
Correct.
And you're saying B colon 0. Then third would be, let me just keep it simple,
Mm,
guys.
Ankit,
Let's say 0.
it should be like, yeah, Ankit, it should be like 0, then a 0 and value is a, as it is mentioned that value set to value and keys
So
are
you are
iterable.
saying 0A. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes,
And then second element
1b,
would be
1b.
1B. Okay, that's interesting. That's one. So somebody said this. I think that was Anand, right? And you were saying this. Najam was saying something else. I don't remember. What was it, Najam? What was it that you were saying?
No, I thought the default value is value. So like the string value.
So you're saying
A comma value.
a comma value. And
No, A colon string value.
so what is the string value? You tell me, right? Like from here. Are you saying
No,
this?
no. So I'm not asking you to treat value like a variable. I'm saying the value is value.
What is the key then? That's what I'm asking, right? If it so my first question was, will it print a dictionary? You guys said yes. So when you print a dictionary, you have a minimum key and a value, right? So I'm asking what will be what? So you're saying value is A. What will be the key?
Key would be the list A, B, C, D.
So you're saying the whole list would be the key? Like this?
No. So what I'm saying is, okay. So if we have
Tell
two
me
keys,
answer.
A
Whatever you
and
think.
B, okay.
Yeah.
So A is the key, colon, value.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. What is the
VALUE.
value?
No, I'm
Oh, you're
saying,
saying A value. Okay.
yeah,
That's interesting. I've never heard that before. Okay. So, okay, yeah, this definitely cannot happen because there's nothing value defined anywhere, right? So you cannot have value. But I like this thinking. I even like this thinking. So you think the keys would be by default starting from 0, 1, and it will be taking the value from this. So let me tell you, none of this is right, but this is pretty close to the answer. Let's see what happens. It'll basically print none. See, A none, B none. So the whoever said this, I think Anand, right? Your thinking is right. I understood because you're saying it's basically no value. We haven't given any value, so it's basically taking it as 0. But the reason it didn't show as 0 and the reason it showed as none is, remember when we were talking about the none type, and I think day before yesterday also we took that example where the one of the key value was 0, which I didn't wanted to show actually. So the none is a convenient data type for Python, which it puts basically when it doesn't have to show you an error because it thinks this might not be an error, but something you could correct. So actually, I'm surprised nobody said it could be an error. It should have been an error, right? Because all you're doing is we're giving just keys here, from keys, and we're only providing one thing. We're not providing anything in the value. Like Najam said, value. Where is it going to pick this value from? So even this thinking was right in the right direction. But remember, I was telling Python has this way where it thinks this possibly could be an error. It changes it to none, or basically it says I'm pointing to nowhere. So the value is none. Simple as that. It could have been 0 if we would have explicitly given the values as 0, but we did not give the values as 0. So in my opinion, this was pretty close. So did you guys understood it? What it means? So basically, from keys is going to take the argument, whatever we defined, which has to be what has to be iterable. It has to be an iterable object or a data type which is iterable. So in this case, it takes because our keys is a list which is iterable or nothing but a sequence. So it is taking that. But now dictionary always needs two things, keys and values. What we got was just the keys so far, right? This is the output, but we do not have values. So it thinks it could possibly an error, but maybe you are going to use this in future or something, which is a very normal thing. So it just points it to none. That is the whole idea of from keys. Now, if I wanted to change, so first of all, everybody understood this output? I'm going to paste it here. Correct. Output is this. All right. So now if I wanted to change this none and give it a value, what can we do? Any guesses? And this is not, I don't expect you to know this, but I'm just asking if you can take a guess or something.
update.
Okay, update is one way, but what about if I didn't want to use update here, I wanted to still use from keys?
Means then means from keys function you're saying?
Yeah,
So will you pass a different list to from keys,
that is a good idea. Yes, I can do that.
and then you can zip it.
No, we haven't talked about zip yet, Najam. So again, all my questions would be with whatever you know or whatever you
Okay,
see on
okay,
the
okay,
screen.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
zip and all is a
So,
very different function,
oh, we can add the lists.
right? So
We can
what
add
should we?
keys and we can add the new list.
I think when I ran this, remember, that's what I was trying to show you. Let me do it again so that you'll remember that. When I remove this, what does it say? From keys expect at least one argument. It says at least one argument. Doesn't mean it has to be one argument. The reason I'm trying to tell you this way, guys, is because tomorrow, so this is something that was added new. So I won't be teaching you forever, right? So what if something gets new added and you want to learn it? So this is the best way to learn it. So always try to look at the error that you get or the description that you have, and then try to play around with it. So it doesn't say that you have to only give one argument. You can also give something like this. Let's see what happens now. See, it changed the none to 1 to 3 because I'm only giving one value, so it is putting both the values as common. In fact, this is your interview question, that if you wanted to create a dictionary, now imagine if this was a big list, right? And so on and so forth, like 1,000 element list. And the question says, or the problem statement says, all the keys you should be able to do in one step that all the keys have the same exact value. This is a problem statement, believe it or not. So how would you do it? There are two ways. One is a complicated way. You define the dictionary and you keep on going and giving keys and values to it, right? It's a long way. It's a lengthy way. Think about it when you have 1,000 elements. But what is a simple way? You define keys into the list. It's very simple to get into a list. And then you define an empty dictionary and then use the from keys and you just give the keys argument here and the value, whatever value you want. Let's say 456, doesn't matter. So all your elements would have the same value. See, A, B, C, D all have the same value. They're different keys, but with different values. Now imagine if this was 1,000 elements, so all 1,000 elements would have the same value. So this is how you can say this is sort of another way that you create a dictionary. So like you can say a semi way, not third way exactly, because you're still using the empty dictionary concept. So it's like 2.5 way that you can create a dictionary like this as well. So did everybody understood this?
What was the interview question?
That how can you have a dictionary with multiple elements, let's say 1,000 keys, all having, how will you define, all having the same value? You can use a for loop, you can do it multiple ways, but this is the easiest way that you can do it. Simply define the keys in a list and then just pass it to from keys along with the whatever value you want.
But
You
how
see
are you
all the
gonna?
keys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I got the answer to my question.
Okay, cool. So do you guys understood this concept? So from keys is you can actually read on this also. It's a this has multiple other uses also, not just this, but that just came to me automatically using a use case. So now I'm gonna ask you. So if you guys understood this, I'm gonna ask you one more thing.
Ankit,
Yeah, go ahead, Sriram.
yeah, Ankit, here given as a from keys 456. This is called assumption or else.
No, this is not assumption. This is the value, or this is the second argument. So first argument is keys, right? What is keys? Keys is nothing but a list. And what is my second argument? I'm saying
Yes.
456. So now look at the output. What is it doing? It is picking the key, right? And it is passing the and it is storing the value as 456. Same thing B, storing the same
Okay.
value
Okay.
as 456. Same thing C, storing the same value as 456. You can change this to anything, whatever you want,
Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
right? It will take it. See?
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it, Ankit.
Okay, great. Now I have another question for you guys. Actually, even before this, let me try something else. So again, going back to the definition of from keys, what it says, create a new dictionary with keys from iterable objects. So what all are the other iterable objects? I'm gonna copy paste this again, and I'm gonna put this in. So, okay, let me give it a huge number. Do you think this will work? And what should be my output here? So I'm now changing the keys to a value and same thing, dictionary, empty dictionary, and I'm saying take this as keys and put this value. So do you think this will, I'm checking this box, that's correct, right? So what will be my output? Anybody?
So it'll be only one key and one value.
Okay, so you're saying that will be basically, this is what you mean. What happened? Najam is saying answer would be this. Correct, Najam? That's what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else agree or disagree with him?
I agree with this.
Same.
Okay, everybody thinks is the right answer. Nobody thinks it could be an error? Has to be an error. Come on, guys, you're missing one concept after the other. So I didn't want to run it purposely because then you know what we're doing wrong. Int object is not iterable. Don't forget your basics. I even put it right here. It has to be an iterable object. What is this? Is this an iterable object? Integers are not iterable objects. We learned this in the second lesson, second or third class. So it has to be something that is an iterable object. And what are all my iterable objects? Like we had the keys earlier, that was a list. Similarly, if we took the same thing and change it maybe to a tuple, because tuple is iterable too. So this should work, right? See, now it works. Now,
Sorry, it has to be something like list, like iterable.
not just list or tuple, basically iterable. Like it says, it has to be iterable. So here's another one for you guys. What if I gave this? Now, whoever attended my strings class, we talked about this for 2 days. Strings are iterable, right? So, and whoever didn't attend, I'm telling you that this will not be an error. But I want to understand what will be the output. I'm going to keep it simple, just 1, 2. So now you guys have to tell me the output.
It 1, 2.
Sorry, Ankit, 1, 2. You said.
1, 2.
No,
Yeah.
it will be same, right, Ankit? Like the way we printed earlier, A and the number. It will print Ankit the list of number 12.
You're saying this, right? That's what I have.
No,
Yes.
so it'll be A colon 12, comma N colon 12, comma
Yeah,
K
like
colon
that.
12.
That's correct. So this is the way it is,
Yes.
because when we say string is iterable, it is going to pick up each and every element out of it and put the same value there. So this is the right answer. Let's see. There you go. A12, N12, K12, I12, T12. This is another interview question, guys. If they give you a string here and they ask you to pass from keys, what will be the output? Most people say this, but the output is this. Again, we did not do anything new, right? This is
We have the
all the
keys
same
defined
concept.
there, right?
I think
Okay.
your voice was breaking.
We
What
defined
was
the
it?
keys. It's because the keys we defined before, right?
Yeah, we're defining it right here, right? And we're using it here. See? So this never changed, right? I never changed this. I'm only changing this to a different value. So when I change this to, let's say, an integer value like this, you might think it's an iteration because it's a long number, but essentially it's nothing but a big integer number. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to error out because it needs an iterable object. And this is not an iterable object. It's just one zeroth location, no iteration. So that's why it doesn't work with integers. Now, when I gave this big list, it worked. Why? Because it's an iterable object. So it took A and 12, B and 12. Similarly, if I change it to tuple, it's the same thing because these are all iterable objects. Even if I do a set, same thing. Nothing is going to happen. But the moment I added this, you guys were confused, or rather, you gave a wrong answer. Any string, you can even take Fahim. So now my output should be F12, A12, H12, I12, M12. See? Because what is a string? String is nothing. It's stored internally as a sequence of characters. So remember, how is it stored? F, A, H, I, M, right? 0, what happened? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember this concept, Fahim? We talked about it in strings. So that's a, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
This character, it's a, one second,
Hello.
Sriram. It's
Thank
a
you.
sequence of characters. Hold on, Sriram, one second. Just when I gave keys as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not like it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's just zeroth element. one element. It's not a sequence. Single element cannot be a sequence, right? So that's why it errored out during the integer, and it did not error out when I gave it a string. And the way it took the string is not like this, but like this. Yes, Sriram, go ahead. Before you do that, Fahim, did you get the answer
We,
now?
we can use that complex numbers.
Okay, that's a good one. So that is going to be your task then. Try and use complex numbers and see what happens. It should be easy actually. You can guess the answer, but I want you to try it and tell me tomorrow.
Ankit, one more thing. Can you add one more F in the for him? Can you add one more F in the for him?
You mean this?
Yeah. Can you print it now?
Okay. Okay. So first of all, tell me what should be according to you.
It will not print, right? Because the index is already calculated.
Index is already calculated.
I mean the stored value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
See, like key is already calculated.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I follow. Well, I think it should print, but let's see. So it did not print F. Why? The extra
If is repeated, yeah, means F key is already there, no? At the start.
The F key is already.
F key is already there. Oh,
See,
yeah.
five
Zero
places
there.
Now about repetition. That's correct. Oh, I didn't understand the question. That's a good one, actually. You're right. And so now you're putting, see, even I didn't understood exactly. Where did we do this? Dictionary, right? So I think, guys, a very good question, Anand, right? I really like it. So he's coming back to this concept here that we spoke. He's coming back to actually this concept, which we already discussed. Basically, now he's putting up a duplicate value. So what is happening is this is getting overridden here. And that's why we do not see a new F here. Are you able to see this? Let me put it here. So even though I had FAHIMF, the last F did not come because this is actually a last F. The first one got overridden. And because now our value is anyways 12, it's always going to be the same value. So actually this F12 that you see is getting overridden with this particular sixth element in the string. And great question. I think I'm going to use this in my interview now. I really like this. I'm going to even paste it in the chat so you guys can think about it. Awesome. Nice. See, this is what I do this for. I like this stuff. Thank you, Anand. That was you, Anand, right?
Yes, Ankit.
Awesome. So any more questions, Fahim? Did you get the concept?
So the concept that Anand bring, it is like because the keys we cannot duplicate the value, right?
Exactly.
We can
So it's
have
basically it
same
doesn't
value.
store duplicate values. It just overrides with the latest value. And what happens
Similarly, if I put another
M, for
A
example.
or H, that's not gonna print, right?
Yep. If you're gonna
How
keep
about
repeating,
if I
it's not
that is not there, any letter that is not there?
you mean L, for example?
Yeah, for L, for example, that will
So
print,
you
right?
tell me what should be the answer.
So
So
one more thing.
there will be another L colon 12, right?
So you're saying it should print now this, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does anybody think this won't work? Nobody wants to answer?
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Answer. So it's the same concept. Now you can extend it to whatever you want to.
Right.
All you're doing is you're just putting values. But you got the idea. I'm gonna keep this also. This makes it even more interesting now. Awesome. Now people will get confused at why is this F not printing, but L is getting printed. Nice. I even like this better.
what if the key was lowercase f?
You tell me the answer. I
It
expect you to
should
know
it
this by
should
now.
work.
When you say it should work, you mean it should print. So now this
Yeah,
would
it
change to F. There you go. That's the
should.
right answer. Yeah. There you go. It is case sensitive.
Wow, nice. Even
Yeah.
better.
No, I like this better. Why? Because when you ask this, right, and you show this, people will get confused at where is this F missing or why is this F missing? That's why I like this better. The way you complicated it, fine. But guys, again, what are we
Because I didn't
so
understand
far?
properly. That's why I'm making it more complicated and complicated.
Always see, the more you complicate stuff, it becomes more tricky, and that's how you understand more concepts. But the point is, like you all answered the right thing, right? When you have a small f, and so again, you have to understand the basic part. Then it's all just an extension to it. And I really like how Anand brought this up. In fact, in the first place, I was not even thinking about it. I was confused with this question, to be honest, but I really like the question. So this is how I want everybody to think and everybody to work towards it. That provides you a challenge. That gives you a good way to learn and understand the concept very well. So
Ankit,
I think I really like that. Yeah,
Ankit,
yeah, Sriram. Yeah, I know you've been trying to ask a question. Go ahead.
yeah, it's yeah, it looks like when we are entering the mail ID in Gmail account, we are giving that caps are small. It look like convert into small, right? Same
Yeah,
thing. It will
that
look
is
like same manner.
no. That is a different thing. That is how you are implementing in a. I think we discussed this in one of the first examples when I did. That is how you are designing your what is it called? Website. So Gmail has designed it. So when we were doing strings, lower string, upper, I think it is somewhere, it's not here, but it was there. There was a particular case fold. See, this is example right here. So the way you are defining that variable is what you are doing in Gmail example, that you are okay to take Gmail as caps or Gmail as small or any combination of upper and lowercase characters. But here, did I do anything like that? No, right? I'm giving a very strict input. I'm not putting it. So your answer would be right if I would have done this. I don't know if it work or not, but let's see. Then I think it should not matter. Oh, case fold actually makes it oblivious. So essentially, indirectly, no. What did I do? So if I did this, now you guys tell me what should be the answer. So if I have to remind you guys, what does case fold does? If you had something like this, case fold would basically doesn't matter. It will always keep it to small letters,
Lowers.
right? Yeah, lower
Yeah.
letters. So now, as a good question, Shriram, as Shriram is asking this, if I put, okay, before I even go there. So Shriram, did you understand? I was not giving this initially, right? When I was doing this. So that's why it is treating it as a exact string. So what I mean by exact is that my F is capital, A is small, and I had this as capital, right? This F is capital. So because this f is capital and this f is capital, it is only taking it as a duplicate and keeping it as one value. But when Fahim asked me to lower it case it, it showed the small f also because small f and capital F is two different elements, right? Do you understand that, Shriram, first?
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Now I'm
got it.
saying, so
First,
when I have
caps are
capital F,
small. It will be different.
different element, exactly. But when I have the caps F, remember the output was, it was missing this F. So what will happen now if I do case fold? What do you guys think? Will it print twice the F?
No, it's not gonna print twice then.
Exactly, because
Because
now what it will do is,
it will
what's gonna
consider
consider
only the
now?
lowercase now.
Exactly. So it will store internally as this. And again, the same concept, this F and this F are duplicated. Are you guys getting it or are you guys getting confused? Okay, let me actually make it this way. This would make it more easier for you to understand. So now when I didn't have the case fold, what was my output? Let me do it this way. Print before case fold. Print. What's wrong? of the case fold. Okay. So now, can somebody tell me what will be my output? So before case fold, we all know it will be FAFL. So it will be this one, right? You already saw that. That now it is taking this F as a separate one, correct? This is what we saw. Anybody has any confusions with that? Or you want me to run it again? Let me actually run it again for you. So see, the small f is also getting printed because it takes them as two different characters. Now the same thing, I'm going to use it with case fold. Do you think this f will still be there? Let's see.
No.
Exactly. And see that this, if you compare this, did I copy the wrong one? I did. This is my after. See that f comma 12 is missing here. Did you guys notice something else also? Here the L was caps, here the L is small. That should also explain you the answer. That's why this F is small. Now what is happening is I didn't change this, but I put a case fold here. So again, case fold means what? Whatever
Everything will
be
be
my
sharing as a lowercase.
exactly whatever be my input as a string, everything should be stored as this, all lowercase. Now when it becomes all lowercase, then this F becomes duplicate value of this F. That's why we do not see this F12 here. But when we do not have the case fold, this F and so this is then it is saved as this, right? So
No, no.
then this F and this F is not considered as duplicates.
But again, Ankit, you were said before that for him FL will be stored as same what we print, what we mentioned, but while it's printed, only the case fold will bring as a lowercase, right?
No, no, no,
While
no. So we are
printing
not.
only.
No, no, we are not printing it. See, we are doing it right here. So what is happening is it is first. It is so it depends on casefold where it is applied. It's applied to keys. It's not put in y dot casefold, right? It's put.
Okay,
It's
correct.
applied to keys. So what is my keys? So basically, that's a good question again. When it comes to this, how will this be executed inside Python? So till now, my keys was this, right? So first thing, even before it goes here, what it will do, it will apply dot. So first, the very first thing, what will happen? This will get replaced with the keys will get replaced with this, and then case fold on this. What does it yield? FAHIM FL, right? And then comma 12. So now finally, this is being passed to my from keys, right? And that is being stored in Y. That's why you see here everything is small. That's why I was saying, right? Look at this L. Even this is small because the whole string, the whole keys got changed and got stored in Y. That is the whole idea about it. Okay. All right. This was good, guys. Today it was, I really like it. Now you guys are starting to put all the things that we are learning in this. Very good. That's what I like. I guess we're already 10 minutes past, so I had some more stuff, but we'll do it tomorrow. Dictionaries. Actually, you know what? Let me just finish dictionary. I wanted to do range also, but I just have one thing in dictionary, and you all pretty much know this. So if you're going to use copy function, does anybody remember what does that do? Print ticked one. Oh, why did I print ticked one? Print ticked one, two. Print. All right, let's see. So what does my dict12 has? Nothing but a copy of dict1, whatever my dict1 was. It will be somewhere here, right here. And see, it's also adding this also now automatically because we changed the dict one. So that's what the copy function does. It just makes another copy. I wanted to actually tell you one more thing about dictionaries. Let's do it tomorrow. Okay. So we'll do that part tomorrow and then we'll finish it in like first 10 minutes and then we'll go to range and all. All right, guys. Any quick question before I wind off for today? Only one thing left I want to talk about.
I'm beginning to see the value in this class.
Oh, really? Now you say that? Thank you, Naveen. That really means a lot. The whole idea when I created this group was basically to have minds like you and Anand who know some concepts, but you're not able to put it together. That's what we need. So now when we do that, it makes more sense. I'm glad you like it. All right, guys. I guess no more questions from you. Then we'll wind up the call today and we'll meet up tomorrow again at the same time. And if anybody has any issues with any videos on the channel, let me know. All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe.